Starting us off in the bottom left-hand side, we do have our red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem. And the top right side, our blue Protoss is Neeb. We get this up, running, and underway. Best of 5 semi-finals. This feels like a bit of a throwback to some of the earlier stages of the European Open ESL Cups, because even Clem, they played in a... I feel like they played a couple times, and there was one really epic series between Neeb and Clem. And what's funny is I don't think it actually happened in the round of 4. In fact, these players have never met each other in the round of 4 of one of these events. It's Neeb's first round of 4 in almost 14 cups. Hasn't been here since April. Which is crazy, because I'm pretty sure that's before even the prize money increase. So this is the first time Neeb has placed in prize money in ESL Open Cup Europe in, well, in a long time, since March almost. So anyway, what I want to mention though is that I do feel like Neeb and Clem have played in these events before, but it's always in like the round of 16 or the round of 8, because Clem actually had a pretty bad seed into the tournament for a long time because he didn't do well at Katowice. He didn't do well at Katowice, and that meant that he was kind of like, sometimes if like Hero Marine, Showtime, Neeb, and everybody signed up, Clem was like bottom, was below 8th seed, so then Neeb would meet him in the round, or he would be below 4th seed, right? So then Clem would be meeting Neeb in like the round of 8 usually. It meant that Clem always had a bit of a tough run, but that's why we've definitely seen this matchup happen in this event in weeks gone by, but not in the semi-finals or above or so. Reaper shows up, poking at this pylon as the Adept is going to get here, and the Reaper is going to get into that bunker which Clem has built. Neeb didn't check for it, so he's going to have a bunker up. I mean, the Adept just goes straight across the map though, so really just eager to try and delay the command center in the next few moments, hopefully. And it's going to be the Reaper obviously trying to be annoying. Shield battery from Neeb to fight this back. What's interesting, he goes double Adept instead of Adept Stalker, so not even that much firepower out of the Protoss for the moment. There's that CC, just finishes in time. Doesn't get the SCV into the command center to save it, but could have been worse. Losing the SCV is the least of your worries there. But just get the CC finished. So can the Adept continue to fight? Bunker continue to take some damage as the shield battery just the work to keep it alive. It's double Reaper, so there's actually a lot of power in this as Reapers will jump back in. SCV, good micro so far. Clem keeping that SCV up across the map and able to really mine from the natural, but a Hellion and Marine should change things. This Adept shouldn't have to get out of that one alive. The Reapers do abandon ship. The bunker will go down. The Adept was killed, I believe, by the Hellion. And Clem will be back out up onto the map. So up into the middle there as our warp gate sets up on the cybernetics core, and just going to see us Stalker and Adept setting up on the front of the natural. 2 Reapers and the Hellion out around the left-hand side and through the top to see what they can do next. So away they go. Raven building from Clem in the main. A couple of extra racks going up from Clem. We'll go around and perhaps up into this main very shortly. Just looking for an attempt to go toward this mineral line. I mean, at this point, it's obviously just a scout as well, right? And he gets to see Phoenix producing, so I should be pretty happy with how this early game's gone. I really feel like it's been preferential for him. Forced an investment of 2 shield batteries on the natural super early in the game. You might be like, well, you got those shield batteries for later, but actually, how often do you use a shield battery on the natural expansion? Very rarely. Most of the fights in TvP, because the Protoss takes a pretty quick 3rd base, most of the fights actually happen over on the 3rd base, more so than up in the natural. Couple of SCVs going down. Cyclone locks on. Is going to chase the Phoenix out of there. So far, so good. Couple of SCVs lost. Far from the end of the world as our Robo Bay comes up as the next step of this. Stim pack, combat shield. +1 attack, all coming through. Building up for the moment. Just having our few Phoenix continue now down the bottom side. +1 attack, stim pack, combat shields all into play very shortly as our Phoenix of Neeb gather up just outside. That's really Neeb's kind of future in this game right now, trying to get damage done with these Phoenix, using those to deal damage, especially because the third base isn't super quick. And also, the third base isn't super quick and his work count isn't exactly amazing. 48 probes to 45 SCVs. Phoenix back down to the bottom. Couple of medevacs will boost over. Medevac taking damage. Phoenix will go in, and a couple of SCVs already going down. So 4 SCVs picked off at the start. The Clem is going across the map. So these Phoenix, they've got to make a decision. How long do they stick around here? Yeah, he's going to recall them to make sure they get back home. And he keeps enough energy on them to make sure he can lift up, you know, units in this fight as well that might be necessary. Stuff like taking the Marauders out of the equation or lifting up the Widow Mines ahead of the fight. Could be very important. Here we go. Widow Mine's going to be the initial lift. Triple auto turret off the Raven, though. And that's a real power play on the low ground. And now he's going to find the Colossal on the natural. Well, joke's on me. The shield batteries in the natural are useful, but no energy for super overcharge. I lie. It's actually just already used on the third base. The Colossus goes down. The Marines are just going to target down some Phoenix. Gets 2 of them. They'll chase for a third. Now up into the main. They could maybe go for a couple of probes. He's actually going to chase for a Zealot. And now Adepts are going to shade it on top. Shield battery here will protect the probes. 4 workers killed. Colossus down. Obviously, Clem takes a hit on his army, but I feel like what he got out of it was well worthwhile. I mean, you're talking about now what? You know, multiple Phoenix going down. The Colossus dies. Yeah, I think that was a worthwhile trade for our Terran player. It's always great. Anytime you're basically trading bio to reset, you know, tech units of a Protoss is generally a double thumbs up. As a command center of Clem going to move into position. It's going to land here eventually. Phoenix come in. A few SCVs being picked off. Marines are here to push the Phoenix back around. Extra racks. Continue to build as our Royal Mines of Clem. Not able to do much just yet as the Phoenix can go back up the left-hand side. Fleet Beacon Forge, Colossus will continue to build as our Phoenix will go out to the far right. Bio out the front of the Fleet Beacon coming in, Disruptor coming up. Kind of love the Fleet Beacon in second Stargate, like he's just going to go mental on Phoenix production. Or is there something else planned? Is there really a step above the Phoenix? I feel like it's a little early to really rush out anything above Phoenix though, right? Like, Phoenix, yeah, sure. Affordable, you know, Anion Pulse Crystals keep them a little bit safer in a fight, but, you know, especially against Vikings. But, yeah, I think anything else is too expensive. On 4 bases, maybe we could be having a different discussion, but we are not, believe it or not, on 4 bases just yet. It's 3 bases apiece. 9.5 minutes into Pillars of Gold, first game. This best of 5 semi-final ESL Open Cup Europe number 29. Marine goes up the left. You see the hallucination going to go down the bottom, and you have the Marine just going to run in, gets a probe as well. Army will set up in the center. Obviously, Neeb staying pretty central. Both will take a fourth. What's really fun about this expansion pattern from both players is that they're both ending up going toward each other. You know, Clem with the more typical 4 base, Neeb taking this right side fourth. So this right, bottom right avenue of attack is going to be massively important during this game. A couple Vikings get there, pushing the Phoenix back. We'll see carriers in production. And the robotics facility coming through as our Phoenix lift up a couple of these SCVs. The PSV's going down as Widowmines to the left. They're going to get connection. 1-2, and there's 2 Phoenix dead and some splashed low. Clem's going to go across the map. The Phoenix are, badly damaged, right? They're hurting. So they have to back away. They can't jump in and fight straight away. They can't slow Clem down from getting across the map right now. And that could be problematic. Disruptors will have a big role to play here if Neeb wants to keep this base alive. Up this right side, a few of these pylons going down. Vikings will just get a Colossus already. Now the Phoenix showing up, and EMP drops on some of these Phoenix as well. And this Nexus setting up 2. Disruptor shot gets just one of the Marines. And the Vikings continue to fight this out. Pylons going down. Again, continue to push forward into this. We do have Clem still coming through. Another EMP down on the Phoenix. Disruptor shots on both sides. Good split back from Clem. Another Disruptor trying to find its way through. Does Clem have enough to push forward and basically close this out? I mean, he's killed so much already. Does he need to stick around? Well, maybe he doesn't need to, but actually it is working out for him. If he dodges these Disruptors, he'll kill so much more, but he lost a lot in the process. A Ghost gets surrounded by probes, and I think Clem is still going to push through. I mean, he just can't lose. I mean, Neeb just can't clean out these final few units at the moment. Last shot gets one more Disruptor. Neeb doesn't stick around, and Clem will walk away with the first game of this best of... I've got 3 on the screen. It is best of 5. Apologies for that. In this semi. Leading the best of 5 in the top right. Our Red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. On the bottom left, our blue Protoss from Ting is Neeb. As we get into game 2 of this best of 5. Get this up and run and see what will happen. We're building in the main. It's one of those games where the last game I really liked where Clem got to from the start, and it felt like the first attack. Those attacks, like I said, it really puts the Terran, I feel, into the driver's seat because you're the one trading out, and that's always great for Terran against Protoss. He's trying to build up, good amounts of tech units and all of that. And Clem really took advantage of it, right? Kept it scrappy, loved the plays on the Phoenix. And with the Widow Mines and pushing those to the side. Probe gets pushed back as the command center gets down, and we'll just see the Reaper out in a moment or so to chase that probe down. Let's see what this Reaper can find out on the map. We'll see. Last game, Neeb really kind of had his hand revealed pretty early on. The Reapers got in. They saw the Phoenix early. Clem was able to play around that. This game, well, let's see if things maybe go a little bit differently as this Reaper gets the probe. Nice grenade to bop it back. Cute play by Clem. That's why you've got to love a bit of Clem. Neeb's just going to straight up proxy a Stargate down south of the natural. That's a, I mean, that's that's one way to do this. That is absolutely one way to go up against this. Question from the chat: do Vikings have the upper hand in high numbers against Phoenix? I think later in the game, the Vikings do pretty well against Phoenix because you can kind of kite with the Vikings a little bit, and then the Phoenix don't want to chase forever. Anion Pulse Crystals helps a lot with that, but the other big thing is the Phoenix get EMP'd by Ghosts, and once they EMP, they are so much easier to take down with the Vikings. And generally, if you get up to a high Viking count, there's probably ghosts involved as well, right? And it's very difficult to just not get them EMP'd. And that's why in the later stages, it's just not really that great, really. Oh, it will come through, and of course, Clem, there's not really much for him to scout in this base. Of course, he doesn't know that because, well, maybe he does now because his Oracle just showed up and we'll start to get some damage, but he went for a Cyclone anyway, and he gets a good lock on it. That might be a kill. Yeah, easily. Easily a kill. Didn't even need the scan. Clem is proxying a fusion core in the corner. He's going to go into the battle cruiser. So straight to the battle cruiser here from Clem. Now, maybe thinking, Wardy, why the hell is he wanting to build a battle cruiser? Well, battle cruiser can actually be a pretty good distraction and then follow up into bio. It can be that unit that keeps showing up and being annoying. Stargate on the map with proxy, so I actually think you could still do okay. Second lock on Cyclone will not kill this time. The other thing is, we actually saw this earlier, but VCs into mech on this map can work quite nicely too. We saw this in another series, Special versus Trap. As you do have the SCV continuing to move around. Third Nexus building from Neeb out on the bottom left side, and just going to see our battle cruiser on the way from Clem. We do wonder, I mean, because the thing is, Neeb doesn't actually have information on the main right now. You know, this looks to him like, oh, a Cyclone, oh, Marines. It just looks pretty normal. He goes into Blink. Going to get through. Where the Stargate. I mean, this is nice, especially when you're going for that BC play, right? Blink on the way, about halfway done. Battle Cruiser number 1 teleports in, back of the third base. No shield battery up. Not one that's super close, at least, to the immediate kind of mineral line here. They'll just fly into the main and straight up just kill off the shield battery. Clem will use the BC as a distraction. At the same time, he's moving on the map. He killed the Stalker. He's going to get in position on the third base, right? Tank's going to come through his stasis towards, saves him from the Cyclone being active, at least. Yeah, Blink about to be finished, but this tank's already siege. Okay, the bunker shouldn't go up, right? Battery is here. I actually think this is not going to do too much else at this stage. I think that's about it. Tank firing, Pylon taking some hits. Stalker's pressing forward, going to Blink for this. How well can you trade out here as Clem? Well, I feel like if you get like 8-ish Stalkers, this is probably okay. What does he leave on? 4. So I feel like that's a lot of losses for Clem. A BSC that's not useful and anymore because it's low HP, has to wait to teleport home. Is going to threaten to keep this army here though, right? It's going to teleport away. Now Clem did go second battle cruiser, but he is going to go bio behind it, even if he is going to research Yamato. So yeah, setting up for that. We'll see the couple of Marines up into the natural, and you know, Stimpack building up as well. These probes going down as the second BC shows up. So yeah, it's kind of Clem's lifeline right now. You know, it's keeping him in this game. It's stopped. You know, there's not going to be any. You know, how do I want to say this? But you know, this BC, I guess it is just keeping him in the game, really, right? Like the BC, if it wasn't for that, these Stalkers would be across the map and they'd be putting work in. But of course, if you didn't have the BC to keep those Stalkers there, you'd also probably have a lot more back at home too. So it's another way to look at it. Marines move forward and just pushing the Stalkers back now. So Stalkers pushed away. We do have the battle cruiser of Clem going to come around the top side. PC bit of bio out to the right, and Clem making its way, or making his way into the top of the third base here. He's showing up. Stimpack, combat shield, 1-1 upgrades all coming through on the engineering base as well. Robo-Base from Neeb in the back of the main, so ready to make that next step. Also Temple Archives. Neeb really ready to start teching up. As he gets the 4th base, he's got 1-1 upgrades. It feels like Neeb's just having the time of his life. Feels super comfortable with where he is at. Completely believes in his position at the moment. And he's just getting a bit of everything. Double BC teleports in though. And battery overcharge is going to be used. Yamato's down the Oracle, which is actually nice. Gets rid of the Revelation ability, right? I thought he might want to Yamato down the super battery, but instead he'll just Yamato down the Stalk with the 2nd BC. And again, he gets 4 probes, he gets the Oracle, and again, these BCs will consistently find damage throughout this. BCs, of course, will just sit in the corner for a long, long time. Now, Neeb's doing the same with his Prism, waiting for the right moment to show up and come and try and get some damage done. Some Zealots into that 3rd. Get 8 SCV. His tank fire, I feel like, had a lot to do with that. Some friendly fire going on. Not be surprised as we do have our armory on the 3rd base. Here come our BCs into the main. Bio gets caught in a huge stasis ward already. This other Widow Mine's trying to set up. Actually, these stasis wards have been massive, really helping Neeb just catch. There's just units everywhere. There's actually just, I mean, Clem is in like 4 different places because he's been basically frozen in 4 different places. Having to pay attention to the BC. This Bio army gets out. The units of Neeb are coming back. Can he actually just trade with the Stalkers? I mean, he can. Oh, this BC gets away. Will teleport home. This bit of Bio gets caught and cleaned out, though. I feel like that might just be a few too many losses for Clem. As we start to move around into the center, Bio of Clem. Moving out. Zealots, Archons. Moving between the bases. There's a recall. Mortal gets brought back to the 6 o'clock location. Ghost Academy building up in the back of the main base. Just going to see our 4th command center setting up at the front as well. And just seeing our bio units continuing to establish themselves. 6 Zealots around the bottom side of the map. Like they just kind of merged with the army. I thought we were maybe off on a mission, but nope. Well, Clem has fought his way up to base number 4. I mean, Neeb hasn't put a lot of straight-up army pressure on across the map, but I feel like if he did, he could have a pretty good time of this. We've seen the Fusion Core found at least, but there's not really much more the Fusion Core can do. The best thing about this is, of course, now you're going to force the Fusion Core to rebuild to get Liberator range from the Terran player, so that is a positive. Marine goes to the Watchtower. 5th Nexus comes up, and we're getting into this kind of nice late game. Now, again, I do like where Neeb was at to get to this point. But I mean, you give a player like Clem a bit too much room, and that can fall apart in seconds for sure. So there's something to keep in mind. 7 Zealots start toward the 4th base. Bio army is going to be here pretty quick. I mean, this Bio is this Zealot force is completely standard. Just going to do absolutely nothing. Yep, he even unsieges the tank to stop the friendly fire. Love it. Time to come in here for a bit more damage. Was able to get a couple Widow Mines into a mineral line fairly successfully. So a few probes going down. It's going to charge in. A couple Marines going to get picked off, and 4 more Vikings on the way from Clem, so a lot of these bumping out as well right now. Well, Prism just gets denied completely, so hey, you take these options away from Neeb, and you make this again a much more straight-up game. You're both maxed out. And now already it's starting to come down to just this next fight. The next fight can maybe decide who's allowed to take the 5th base without issue. You know, who's able to rebuild from that. So despite all the ways that this has gone up until now, better resources lost here or there or whatever, this game gets reset, maxed out, so here we go. Of course, it's only natural that when the game finally gets to this state that we actually completely avoid each other. Oh my god, you're kidding me, right? Command Center cancels, Zealot, Stalkers, Archons, Colossi are running in, Bio Army. Well, have to start dodging some Disruptors, huh? The Disruptor's going to try and do what they can. So far, not quite hitting the mark. Well, on base trade time. It's so important for Clem. Like, these Disruptors are so good for Neeb. They buy him so much time. The Vikings have had enough. They're going to land. They don't want to have to deal with this. The Vikings are really ridiculously good against everything that's here at the moment. It's another disruptor killed. Okay, now he's on top of the disruptor. They won't do much else. So now we really do just enter a full-on base trade. Who is better set up to deal with this right now? I actually really don't know. That disruptor kills more probes than any Terran units. Clem has this based up here. That's actually massive for him. Does he have anything that can really hold in the main? Not really. Waiting on a few more units showing up. He's trying to build Liberators. They're always amazing at holding the ramp. Neeb just continues to expand through the bottom. Oh my god, Neeb is so well set up. He's got so many cannons and DTs. There's no way, right? He might lose all his production, but he's got so much money to rebuild with as well. See that bio coming through. Gates going down. Nexus is going to get picked off also. Yes, that's going to pretty much be it. Is pylons, shield batteries, all of this getting cleaned up. Dark Shrine gets picked off also. Just going to see these medevacs of Clem back out onto the map. Cleaning up a little bit of everything at the moment as we see Neeb. I mean, he's just going to have this army somewhat pinned in, right? There's only, what, 3 medevacs? Well, here we go. We're going to fight. It's not pretty on either side, really. EMP has come down. Is Neeb going to lose this fight? Oh, my God. Whoa, Clem just crushes this fight. Oh, Neeb, you did not need to fight there. That was a mistake. And that's problematic as we're going to see these stalks and everything is just dying. Oh, my God. Did all the Terran units just get like a damage buff or something? What's going on? Neeb 60 pros, but he's not going to be able to rebuild with them, right? Man, the DTs are so annoying, though. Yeah, I mean, Dark Shrine's dead, so it's only the 3 DTs on the map, and they're all up on this top side, as far as I can see. Of course, you don't necessarily need scans for DTs. You can EMP them, but there's only 1 ghost left. Bit of army here. I imagine you EMP the Immortal. Neeb's going to try and fight this. Clem doesn't realize right away. Loses another Viking. I mean, right now, Neeb spending his money. 2 Immortals on the way out. Robot Bay building. Clem has cleaned up on the top side. This DT on the way back. It's the last DT in the game. And it's going to try and deny this economy. 96 to 50 army supply. The battle cruiser shows back up. Oh my god, you're kidding me. Yamato just goes off in time to kill a stalker. The British Siege up, couple of Zealots warping in. There's not much else you can really do right now. This is a horrible position for Neeb to have to fight into, this choke point. EMP is available. Here he goes. Stalkers go blinking in. He did just scan across the map. He's dealt with the final DT as far as I can tell. And I think Neeb does not have the numbers to fight this Terran army. He lost too much in the main. And Clem is going to take a game 2 and the match point opportunity in the series. So just reading up on something quickly as we... Okay, ignore the scoreboard for a second. There we go. In the bottom right-hand side, winning out on the base trade. It is our blue Terran player, Clem. 2-0 lead here in this best-of-5 semi-final. As in the top left, red Protoss from Ting, it is Neeb. Alright, so third map here as we get this set up. Probes chrono boosting out. See this racks of Clem setting up in the main. Probe from Neeb will be coming out down the bottom right side. A little bit of scouting to get us started in this one. Hey, what's up, Instructor Boyd? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. How you doing? Thanks for supporting the channel. Much appreciated, buddy. Comes SCV. Gets back home. Into a submarine. What a weird map to have to play a tournament life on as Neeb. Small, aggressive, so many Terran attacks that could catch you off guard. That gets in. SCV taking damage. The Marine goes down. The Adept is just going to sneak out, but into the Reaper. Reaper dives for it. Will get it. Will not save itself from the second Adept, however. He sacrificed himself to take down an Adept, a hero by any Terran standards. Good job, Mr. Reaper. We need more like you. For sure. Try cancel into the main base. You have the Adept heading up to the top left side, pulling back home. Alexa Gates continuing through. You have that Viking already building on the starport as the few Adepts continuing out through the center. Hellion meant for Scout will get one probe, make it two, I think. It's actually got some health left on it, hasn't it? It's going to get in the main base for actual information. Twice on the robo is seen. The Adept shade buys the 3 Adepts going for this at the moment. One SCV down. Adepts are going to shade again. He'll lose a Marine. Obviously, that one-shot potential of 3 Adepts is scary. We'll get 2 of the 3 Adepts, and the other one will fall. Prism starts Chrono Boost. Temple Archive is going to build in the main. We do just have the setup from Neeb, a little bit different to what you might be used to. This is a 2-base into charge right away. Templar Archives, I mean, this is like going to be like a charge lot Archon attack, and it's going to hit hard, so the kind of thing you need to know about is Clem, because if you walk into this trying to be aggressive or anything, you're going to be in so much trouble. Like he moves around. Not too much avail, got shut down. Storm coming up, 5 gates coming in, and you have our charge continuing through, and that's going to be done in a few moments. Medevac with the 2 Widow Mines will go boosting down the bottom left side, heading up toward that natural. Making a play up there. A couple of gates just continuing the build. A lot of them coming through. This Medevac has a couple of Widow Mines inside, and well, let's try and see what it can get up to. Forge building some Neeb in the main. That next is now starting. Just sets up a couple of extra zealots already warping in here, so this is going to be a fun little counter. I mean, with Storm done as well, I mean, the Storm opening like this is always very hit or miss. All it takes is you kind of miss one Storm, and all of a sudden this Terran army can just clean you up, no issue. 4 probes killed off the start, and he's going to get maybe the cancel on the 3rd base. Now Zealots run into the natural, and there's not a lot of units here, but I think they're going to clean it up. Cancel the third base is probably okay, but the storms come in. That's more than enough to push this back. Clem cannot stick around in this one. Absolutely no way. Just isn't happening. That's going down. Nice kiting from Clem and a good time to pick up just before that storm hits. His own third is coming up as well, so while he didn't get the cancel on Neeb, he does have his own about to be done. Medevac hanging around the right top side. Neeb setting up. Goes Academy down onto the main base. Again, that goes Academy up and running here. Prism into the main, couple high temp. The storm drop about a hit. And it's pretty good splits in fairness from Clem. 3 SCVs to the double storm. Storm's already again right now. You can see what he wants. Oh my god, Clem. That's actually kind of sickening. That was actually really... That's probably the best storm drop defense I've seen, and he kills both high Templar as well. Oh, that's not... Oh, he gets the prism! Oh my god. You have to draw a graph of how happy Neeb is with this game. Probably looks a little bit like... it probably looks a little bit like this. If this was the start of the game, Neeb's like, oh, this is great, this is great, this is great. And then the storm drop just goes horrendously wrong. He's like, why does nothing ever work out for me? I mean, it's not that bad losing the 2 high Templar in the prism, but... obviously less than ideal, to say the least. Back down the bottom right, bit of army. Making its way around. Robo Bay in the main already as well. Second facility. And the switch up, the next layer of tech getting ready to go. High Templar. So it's out down the bottom left side. Well, Disruptor's coming in. First building the bio army gonna move out. Selling the temple out the front. There is the dog gets picked off. The lot finds itself down already, and again there's lots of Neeb out around that left hand side as well. The Disruptor's coming through the blink. Kind of boosting. There's like a lot of dots around the right. I mean, push from Clem, kind of scary. So let's go straight into the natural expansion. As it's a lot of zealots, obviously, but it just means zealots that you don't have in the army, right? These disruptor shots gonna be ones to watch because they need to connect a little bit to slow this down. But for now, Neeb's movement is good, I think, just to keep Clem at bay. It's working pretty well, in fact. 15 SCVs die. Clem finally deciding to turn it around and deal with these zealots. It's a big eco hit. Neeb kind of needed it. You know, you look at Clem, he's still only 7 SCVs behind after that. Medevacs going up the right. Disruptors, but Clem is dodging, picks off a couple mines, got this big drop on the top. Feedback going down. Storm as well. Some of the units managed to unload. Is it enough? EMPs available. Storms will lose their shields. Marauder's going to try and cleave one through them. Next results open in. We'll push this back. Army of Neeb out on the left-hand side. +2 attack, +3 armor. Coming through, extra probes, continue to build. These probes coming up higher through the center of the map. We'll see some of this army from Neeb. The left-hand side gonna go blinking around just that little bit. See where he can get to. The EMPs will drop. Storm is down. That Widowmine just survives another storm on the bottom side. And these Zealots are pretty low HP. They need to be careful what they're running into. Double Liberator harass. Push the probes away on the left side. Disruptor's cleaning out the Widowmines. It's kind of nice. You're denying all mining on the 4th base at the moment. Clem. Okay, he's paying attention. It's one of those moments where it feels like maybe he isn't, but then he stims and you realize he is. But those were some disruptor shots. Really hit in the heart of the army. So that definitely hurts. And backs up around the top. Gonna go for a boost into the main, I think, is Neeb. Well, just moving around. Medevac's just gonna unload. Gonna go straight and on top of the Colossus. Colossus goes down. Bio gonna stim. Zealots and Stalkers gonna try and fight this. Widowmines will go off. The Stalkers will blink to the side. Hey, can he deny the Robobay? External Lance just doesn't have long enough on it to realistically deny. There's too many units here as well anyway. The Storm drops. Medevac gets picked off. Clem playing a pretty fun series here right now, right? 3rd map. Definitely feels like this could have been 1-1 as well. Keep out down the left side. Starport building. We do see the 2G upgrade still coming in. This army of Neeb. Still in the middle of the map. Bio. Ghosts. Gonna set up for the moment. Couple of Widowmines up on the high ground. Nub gonna move in, gets the High Templar. He might be about to lose this base. I mean, if you lose this base, it's kind of hard to replace it. The problem is for Clem, though, you've got to kind of sit here and fight. And he hasn't actually killed the base just yet. Oh, don't tell me you don't get the Nexus, Clem. He's gonna lose everything and not get the Nexus. Stalkers blink in for the Medevacs, and that was not the move he's looking for. Not on the slightest. I can't believe this base is alive. Super battery to help it out as well. I think you've got to finish off the base at the very least at some stage. It continues across, and I really feel like Clem now might have just thrown away a bit too much there. I'm setting up a little bit. Just going to be seeing the Nexus in the bottom left from Neeb. Setting up Liberator. Coming around from Clem. Stop the shot. Not finding its mark just yet. More Liberators on the way out. Viking in the way. Marauders and Marines still building. Here's our army of Neeb. Continuing out around this right-hand side. A big move to the far right side of this here. But the Bio will pull back. Disruptor shot. It's not quite make it in. A second disruptor shot will miss the marker as well. And, well, still seeing our High Templar coming through. +1 ship weapons on the armory. Stalkers on a move command, gonna lose a few of them already. Again, it's Neeb that's really bullying his way around the map, but Clem has found himself maxed out once again, so he's been able to rebuild here. It's another disruptor shot that just doesn't quite connect. Medevacs, Marines, and Marauders all in production. As the Viking Lib army setting up out the front as well. back around in the middle of the map. Vikings and a Liberator too. Getting an Observer. And I mean, big thing for Neeb is that he's now established a 5th base, right? So the last few moments of success have really given him base number 5, and that's pretty big for him because it really felt like that was the struggle trying to get past where he was at. Clem looked scary for a few moments, but now he's maxed out again, and there's some opportunity. High Temple looks for Storms. The Storm goes on the air units. Clem was really expecting that right away, honestly. "18 minutes deep." We have a Liberator in this bottom corner, still trying to be annoying. Clem's found his way onto some bases here. This is not a fun position. These Vikings, depending where they can sit, could do a lot. High Templar flanking with Storms, though. Okay, Clem's just going to try and fight this with Disruptors. Force him to back away now. There's still Storms, and Neeb just realized it on the upper right side. The Vikings have had a good amount of time, though, to pick away Colossus. There's only one Colossus left. The Vikings not going to get it. Oh my god. This fight kind of felt like it started okay for Clem, but in the end, it was a disaster, and now Neeb has the numbers. He's got the bank, and rolling through the center of the map, there should be enough for Neeb to just go and, well, basically clean up, right? Zealots, Stalks, and Colossi all going to keep on running through, and it's going to come straight on into this. I'm just going to see another Disruptor shot going in. SCV is taking some damage. Stalkers are here. Colossi. There's just no way of breaking out of this now, right? There's not enough for Clem. Surely these Stalkers should just be able to kill the Libs. That was not the way of doing it, though. Slip trying to move forward, but there's still just so much from Neeb. Neeb just has money in the bank as well. If he spent the money, it wouldn't even be a... I mean, it's not a close fight anyway, right? But it wouldn't even be a slight amount of competition. The Stalkers will clean up medevacs. GG is called, and Neeb will take a game in this best-of-5 final. He will not fall without a fight. Gun Wall to continue this series, and still in the lead in the bottom left-hand side is the Red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem against the Blue Protoss in the bottom right-hand side. It is Neeb. Guys, thanks for joining us so far today. I do think this might be my last series of the night. By the time we wrap this up, it's going to be about 12 hours deep on the stream, and I think I'm just a little bit worn out to carry on, considering the other match is still kind of only just starting their semi-finals. So I think I'll probably call it a night after this, but we'll see where we're at. We'll see how we feel when the series ends. Just a little heads up, because I don't want to just end and be like, okay guys, I'm done. Just want to give you guys a little heads up that this may be end. Like I said, we shall see. Throw it back across the right-hand side. Not much to say, 2.5 minutes. Deep, pretty standard stuff. Waiting to see. Well, there's something to talk about actually. Second and third racks already from Clem. And those up and running. BCI bunker finishing up on the natural, and the Adept Neeb will continue across into the natural here already to moving in. They're putting out some damage, but obviously nothing too serious. The Stalker here as well. Bunker's already up, so Clem is safe. You need the bunker. You don't have a factory, so you're not going to get a Hellion anytime soon, so you can't really afford to just wait on more Marines, right? So, going about it a little bit differently then is... You can see the charge coming up. Robotics facility on the natural. So it's going to be a fast charge from Neeb. Very aggressive. Once again, bypassing Blink to go charge. And that really does, again, usually open you up to, potential of dealing some damage early. You see him going straight at 4 gates here as well. I imagine the plan is to run a few charge lots into the natural and warp some charge lots into the main. Somebody did this quite recently. I feel like, was it maybe even perhaps Neeb in the War Chest team league? I feel like that's actually a possibility as well. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was Neeb against... No, I don't think it was Neeb then. No, I can't remember who it was, but I've seen someone do this on this map recently. Just gonna see our Marine sat on the natural, the Warp Prism. Setting up for Zealots coming through. So through this bottom side of the map. Just gonna be seeing Clem moving out. I actually feel like Clem's build is usually really good against this because you have just a ton of units, and the Zealots are really good against like tanks and factory units. But I actually feel like obviously moving out right now is not great for Clem because obviously you do not want to be out on the map. You kind of want to be here fighting these Zealots and getting a free cleanup. That said, could he have just committed across the map and gone for this? Maybe. Obviously, it's not the safer thing to do though, and Clem is going to play it safe here initially. Marines coming in. So 8 workers going down. The Prism gets out. I mean, 8 workers for the cost of 4 Zealots, and it pulls the entire army of Clem back. Has to stem a bunch of units as well, obviously less than ideal, because he doesn't have medevacs yet. So I wonder if it would have been better to continue across right then. Shut down as the third Nexus gets set up. Factory gonna swap off. Starport will take its place. That's unloading. Bit of bio already here, and the Prism will be pushed out up the left side, and again the rest of this setting up. +1 attack coming through. There's our blink on the Twilight Council of Neeb as well, with the extended thermal lance and the +1 attack still coming into play. Server is going to get set up just out the front. Another command center building out the front as well. So I'm kind of happy to go up to 3 bases here. That's thermal lance, +1 attack, blink. All the upgrades. That bio army of Clem moves out into the center. And again, a lot set up for the moment. Double probes continue now. Colossus coming through. Big push. I mean, it's always going to be, but then the Zealots show up once again. This is going to be so annoying. Now having to deal with this from the very start of the game. Just about able to get those units. We do see the Zealots trying to move around. SCVs are continue to take a bit of a beating as well. 10 workers down. And how many times has Clem turned around from the middle of the map? Now this Colossi up. There's no way Clem wins this fight. So Clem can't really afford to take a fight at the moment, and yet I feel like that's what he's probably stuck feeling like he has to do. To some extent, at least. Gonna take the gold base. I mean, he's got that follow-up. I guess he'll let the game go on. Goes Ghost Academy as well. Yeah, this was definitely not the setup he was originally hoping for, honestly. He gets taken down. A few extra gates of Neeb. Setting up in the main. Just seeing this army pushing out the front. You have a Widow Mine, a good chunk of bio in the on the third base there. Just going to see a couple of Zealots. already unloading. A few more Zards open as well. 5 probes go down across the map. But Mine's going to get a couple more as well. But, I mean, then you've got to protect this third base, which is not easily done in the slightest right now. Looking towards Colossi. Going through. Depot's being cleaned up. Stalker's blinking in, and that orbital command chased away. Neeb just has too much, right? I think he's just going to move on through. He's going to take this to a game number 5. Colossi coming in. EMP is trying to land. Neeb is going to be chased down the ramp. But he's just got way too much. The Colossi will do more than anything Clem could begin to deal with. GG is called. And Neeb turns it from the 0-2 to a 2-2 scoreline in this best of 5. Going the distance here tonight. Those couple minutes between the game. Been a lot of those today. Tied up 2-2. Going the distance in this semi. On the top right hand side, it's our red Terran player. Team Liquid's Clem. Bottom left, blue Protoss from Ting is Neeb. So get into game 5 of the series. Probe off up to the top right side. We'll see Iraq's gonna be finishing soon. Probe moving around. Emphasis on the natural as we'll see the Rack's about to finish up. Keep it coming through. Probe moving out. We're on the way. Pretty standard first few moments. Ice and Chrome. Nice large map to finish us off on here. Just take it nice and slow early game. Again, it's been a 12-hour stream, guys, so I appreciate you. Probably understand the lack of energy in this game, in this final series that we're going to do. I don't think we're going to stick around for the finals. I don't think. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe I'll pull a... Maybe I'll turn it... I don't think so. I'm pretty knackered. Anyways. Just killing some time. We've got a Stargate coming up, so some stuff to talk about. Tap from Neeb, gonna go shading out across the upper right side. Stargate about to finish in the main, and just gonna have our Adept continuing across Starport. And Clem done soon. Factory finishes up the tech lab, and again able to get a depot raise there. The Adept of Neeb is out the front and gonna shade forward once again. So Adept shading through, just keeping up the info, trying to find as much as possible. Dev gets cleaned out as the Phoenix is producing from Neeb on the Stargate, so it's going to open just Phoenix from the very get-go, right, and just keep on producing Phoenix. To get that Phoenix count up, we did see him play like this a little bit earlier on. It's a lot of Phoenix into Colossus. facility on the natural expansion. We do have the Robo Bay, that kind of follow-up expecting to be into the Robo Bay then. What Neeb did earlier was a second start gate, Onion Pulse Crystals, and really kind of powered up the Phoenix. Phoenix go in, some SCVs going down. Phoenix continue to move around. Push-up Clem gets across the map. And that's kind of designed to try and fight against something like a Stargate play. Marines gonna trade out for the Phoenix more or less. He'll use this Viking to get rid of one last one, but Bunker does not go up, and overall, I feel like that's a bit of a flop here from Clem. Neeb cleans it up with ease. Back in the way, it's another Viking that gets taken down. One last shot doesn't find the Phoenix. Try and push through. A couple tanks are good at the front. Just going to be seeing the Robo Bay. Setting up from Neeb in the back of the main. Again, these few units getting set to roll. Phoenix up to the top. Stimpack coming in. A couple of racks coming into play as well. The Phoenix going to go straight into the main. SCV's already being picked off, and just gonna see a couple missile turrets on the way in from Clem. The Phoenix get pushed back out through the top side. Torch on the front of the third base. We do see the Phoenix gonna make their way out around the left. Fourth next to Neeb out on the bottom. There's our air weapons coming through on the Saboteur. TvP going to keep on building up here. Corona boost on the Phoenix, and Phoenix do make their way up into the actual expansion here. So the Marines going down, some SCVs being picked off. TvP is building with the Stargate. Continue to pump out those Phoenix for the moment, guys. Road as Marines coming in, 1-1 upgrades and combat shields. Continue set up as well. The Phoenix coming in for a few SCVs. Do you like it for Neeb, right? I feel like you shut that first attack down. Now you've been controlling the game. You've been moving stuff around. Starport sets up calmly. It's actually being denied. That's actually kind of a big deal if you don't remember to continue building it, because then the 2-2's delayed, and that can delay a lot of the future in this game as Clem continues out down through the center of the map. Marines and Medevac setting up. Phoenix continuing through, and Clem out down the left-hand side. Coming across, Ghost again resetting up in the main. Just going to see the rest of Phoenix coming through, and just going to see the Medevacs continuing along down to the bottom side of this. Marines ready to push on into this. But this cannon's in position, so it's not the sort of fight you can take. 3 cannons and a battery. And Neeb just takes 4 bases. And when before I was talking about that Anaheim Pulse Crystals into, you know, more Phoenix, this time he's on 4 bases while doing it, and he actually does start up his first carries. He's going to try and rush up to that nice big air army. Extra units going down. This Phoenix is going to continue chasing Marines. Will still get picked off. Shikari's continuing to build. 2-2 upgrades on the engineering base. 4 more Vikings on the way from Clem. And his Bio army just joined back up into the center here. Phoenix back onto the map. Carriers. It's such a composition. It's like, it's just. I feel like if I play against carriers and disruptors, I'm just looking at my screen like, what do I do? It's such an infuriating composition. You're always dodging back. The interceptors are always on top of your army dealing damage. Fortunately, Clem is much better than I am as Vikings go up against each other here. Bit of back and forth. Entire bio force with a couple ghosts around for the moment. Let's see how Phoenix going to go all the way across this right side. Carriers coming through, mothership building, and you can see our bio out down the right. Missile turret gets there to push the Phoenix away. You just see a couple of extra Marines. Just setting up Phoenix down the bottom, and again the bio going to stim forward. A couple of disruptors. We'll keep this back. The disruptor shot is good. Ghost and Marauder going down. One more. Continue to connect here. Vikings continue to push forward and stem through towards this bottom side. We go. Big EMPs across the top of this. Get picked off already. I mean, it's not been a bad start for Clem. He's cleaned out the interceptors, but can he keep on pushing through? Because it kind of feels like now or never. He's done a lot of the hard work, but now he needs to try and reap the rewards from this. Oh, Phoenix keep coming in. New disruptor shot's got to be ready in the next few moments, right? Clem keeps this push up. Has he got an EMP for the Phoenix? I'm not sure if it's even. I'm not sure what's worthwhile or not at the moment. A little wild. Vikings still going through. Another command center of Clem up to the top. Clem honestly takes a fight that gives me a little bit of belief once again. 13 minutes into Ice and Chrome as more and more carriers come onto the map. Clem's building a lot of Vikings and he's getting rid of some of these Phoenix. I'm not sure that that's something which is, you know, priority for Neeb to replace, though. If that takes the watchtower, may as well take the fight. This entire army of Clem out in the center of the map. Just going to see his Nexus setting up the front. Phoenix making their way through. Vikings getting a few shots off and able to pick away at these Phoenix. Pushing forward here. Tank goes down and Bio falls. Kind of wants to fight it. Oh, he's going to turn. He goes for the disruptor. He pops them all down. Neeb is going to maybe be in a little bit of trouble. Is there enough for Clem to really keep on going? There's going to be an attempt to recall. And he will get the units out of there. He leaves a carrier behind those. He's going to go and chase that carrier down. Oh, you just can't quite get it for the moment. Not finding it just yet. A couple of ghosts continuing up, and we do see the rest of this army continue to move around in the center. Pushing forward here, Neeb. Into the middle of the map. And we'll go down the right side. Looking to make something of a play right now. But where do you really go? Ghost Spio. Back in the middle of this. Phoenix and the carriers setting up as well. The shot will fly, but will not land. Seven's gonna fly forward. Big EMP is already dropping down. Ghost fighting these interceptors again. I really feel like the Ghosts are helping a lot with these interceptors so far, as they do have the army of this kind of continuing to push around. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, it feels like these fights with the interceptors just will not end. Clem's starting to lose out on some of his units. I think that's the issue, right? There's just so many carriers. And Clem does lose out on the units in the end. Neeb is going to be coming back to the upper right side of this. And just going to be seeing Neeb going for the push. Plus 2 ship weapons on the armory. Viking still coming out. Starport, another one just building up in the back. I mean, I don't think now you really get much chances, Clem, right? You gotta take a fight that's very similar to the last. Of your reinforcements, you're not even quite maxed out just yet. You're still waiting on units spawning. I mean, here you go. Disruptor shot force. That's the thing, right? The disruptor shot force is only back. It's gonna go through. It's gonna be GG, and Neeb is gonna take it in a 5-game series. Close this out, wrap this up, and Neeb is gonna go to the finals where he plays Hero Marine in this week's ESL Open Cup Europe.